welcome to my channel. My name is Alexa and today I am bringing you what was my skincare routine before I started seeing my esthetician and dermatologist. Now, the reason I'm bringing to you this still now, even though my routine has changed a little bit, is because this did work for me for a very long time. And though I was hesitant, I am going to explain why it worked, how it worked, and tell you a little bit about myself. So if this is your first time watching, just so that you get an idea of what my skin is like, I do have PCOS, so a lot of my acne is hormonal, cystic, and it has left a lot of scarring on my face. So a lot of what I did was really just trying to keep active acne down and also try to keep down hyperpigmentation. And I used to have very oily skin, like to the point where I would be like, not dripping oil, but very oily when I woke up every morning. I would always have to wear matte foundations, powder on everything. And yeah, I was an oily girl and I'm not anymore, but I'll share those products regardless. The routine that I'm going to start with is basically my nighttime routine, and then I'll tell you what products I switch around for the morning, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's get started. Now, the first product that I use at night if I wore makeup is my first step in my double cleansing step. So it is 2020. There is no reason, and I've said this before, for us to be using makeup wipes in our skincare routine. As you will see when I start showing these products, your skin needs hydration and moisture for it to be able to heal and help itself. Now, makeup wipes have alcohol in them, a high amount of alcohol in them, and you're tugging on your skin. So you're drying out your skin, you're stretching out your skin just to take some makeup off when you could be using an oil or a cleansing gel to remove the first layer off, but you want to be stubborn. So what I like to use is the e.l.f. Hydrating Melt Gel Cleanser. So this is it right here. Now, this used to be on sale in Walmart and Target, and I don't know if it just wasn't a successful launch when it first came out under e.l.f. skincare routine, but it just came off of the stores. So the only way I can find it now is on elf.com, and I order 2 at a time. So I'm about to run out of this one. This is the consistency that you're gonna see inside. It's clear gel and it's never broken me out. I believe it has arganol, one of the active products in there. Not active products, but one of the main products in there. And yeah, it does a great job of taking all my makeup off. And then I follow up with my everyday cleanser, which I use morning and night, which is my foaming face cleanser from Cerave. Now, this right here is for normal to oily skin. They do have one for dry skin. Even though my skin is dry now, I don't care to use that one because this one does the right amount of things for me. The reason why I like Cerave is because right here it tells you that they have 3 essential ceramides, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid, and those are all things that your skin needs to heal itself. So I just feel like this is the best way to clean my skin without necessarily adding more chemical exfoliants, while still letting it retain hydration and use the tools it needs to stay balanced. So I use that. Now, this next tip, both the product and the way that I apply, I got from LA Beautyologist on Twitter and Instagram. She suggested that I use this, or all of us use this rosewater facial toner. Now, her reasoning for this is that this has humectants in it that we're gonna allow our skin to absorb products better. Now, I used to use a Murad hydrating toner before this, but it had witch hazel in it, and witch hazel worked well for me for some time because I have really oily skin. However, it didn't do a very good job whenever I needed to keep my skin hydrated because it's astringent. So I would just drop the witch hazel altogether. Now, the way that she does it, and I'll link her video down below too, is she does the hydrating toner between every step, because the idea is if your skin is damp, then it can absorb the next product well. So that was a bit confusing when I first heard about it, and basically the way that she explained it to me specifically was spray it, let it dry down a little bit, but let your skin still be damp. Don't let it be wet, because then you don't want to just slide around product. But if it's still damp, then what you're doing is you're allowing it to be damp enough for the product to seep in, and you're also avoiding it from being too dry for you to end up tugging at your skin. So that's kind of the goal behind that. So keep this in mind. We're gonna have this, and then this is actually a spray thing that I put on there. It doesn't come with a spray. They suggest that you just put it on your hands and rub it on your face. You can do that. I personally prefer the spray because that's just what works for me. However you want to do it is a-okay. So my next go-to step, which is going to be my staple morning and night, is my Inkey Hyaluronic Acid serum. Now this I actually got in combination with the caffeine under eye primer, and both of these I got in a set for like $15 from Sephora, and I really like both of them. This is very similar to the brand. It's very similar to The Ordinary. They're really just giving you average quality products at a very, very low price because they buy in bulk. That's the explanation that I found as to why their prices are so affordable. There's really nothing too special to it. It's just a straight up ingredient. And for me, in my routine, being that I was using so many things, I felt like that was the perfect staple for me. Now, the next step that I use is optional. It's not for everyday use. It's a chemical exfoliant in a serum, so it's not something that you can use every day, because if you do, you'll dehydrate your skin like I once did. So this is something to use maybe once every 2 days when you first start, or maybe once every 3 days if you're really new to it, and then you can do it more often, but definitely not every day unless you're really okay with that. That's your business, not mine. So this is on the higher end side. I got this at Sephora. It is the Farmacy Honeymoon Glow serum, and this the biggest active ingredient in this is lactic acid, and it also has honey, so it does a really good job of exfoliation, but then it also hydrates your skin. So I really saw a good difference in the texture in my skin whenever I wore this overnight, and this I only ever apply at night. So most of the time I use this when I can tell that my skin's looking a little bit rough. I don't get in the habit of doing this all the time. Now, I did get a little bit confused when using it, because I'm like, okay, you need consistency for skincare, but then I can't use it every day. But just be aware that with chemical exfoliants, I don't want to say less is more, but just don't overdo it, because you can end up causing damage to your skin if you overdo it. So with that being said, this is another product. This is a toner. Now this is one that you can use in between. After this step, you can end up using this one, then this one, then this one. This I got at Ulta, by the way. So this is by The Ordinary. So a lot of people have mixed feelings about The Ordinary. This is a lactic acid toner. This I thought was a game changer for me. So I had a lot of active acne all the time, what I used to call my gluten breakouts, and this really helped them kind of calm down. Anytime I had any type of little breakout, I would put that on my skin. I would try to do it like every other day. Was my go-to, and it just made such a huge difference in the size of the acne. And I can't imagine a better product for my skin at the time. But keep in mind, I had very problematic skin. So really what it was doing was helping me manage my acne from getting worse, and it was helping some hyperpigmentation. It wasn't my final solution for me, just because I'm now on Accutane, and that's really the only thing that's helped me be 100% clear right now. With the exception of these, and these are keloids, this is not acne, so nothing I put on my skin will help this. We're just focusing on my actual face. So with that being said, my disclaimer is do not use the lactic acid and this in the same night unless you want to burn your skin, because you will burn your skin. I've tried it before and I shouldn't have, so don't do that. Anyway, after you put that on, spray your regular hydrating toner, and then you seal with your good old Cerave Daily Moisturizing Lotion. Now this I got for the same reasons that I got the cleanser. It comes with the hyaluronic acid, ceramides, and this one doesn't have niacinamide, and this one is lightweight. They also have a PM version, so I use this for morning and night. They have a PM version that I used for some time because my skin was oily already, and that worked well for me. But since I'm on Accutane now, I switched to that one. And if there's days where like I've overdone it with a chemical exfoliation, or I can just tell that my skin was rough, whether it's now or before, one thing that I love to use to seal everything in, even on top of the moisturizer, was the Cerave Healing Ointment. Now this, you would look at it and you just see the active ingredient be petroleum, but this has ceramides in it too. So overall, it just really helps with healing skin. For example, my forehead, as you can see, is pretty clear and it never really breaks out. It doesn't have texture, but sometimes like certain makeup products, you can tell, will give you like a little bit of a reaction. So I could literally just put this on overnight and I immediately saw a difference in little bitty like breakouts that would come out. Almost like allergic reactions. I don't want to call it that because I don't know what I was allergic to, but in my head it was like little bitty dots. So this really it was like a lifesaver for my skin. So I think really the idea behind it is that it seals everything in so that the products can work as best as they should. So that's a must. And the only thing that I did different in the morning is take out these chemical exfoliants. So take out The Ordinary and take out Farmacy. I would keep my toner, my hydrating serum, I would keep my eye cream, and I would keep, of course, my cleanser and moisturizer. But I would also add, if I needed some extra exfoliation, I added this REN Daily AHA tonic. Now, I think the word daily kind of tricks you into using it daily because I thought that it was okay for daily use. Now, it may have been, but the thing is, I was still also using chemical exfoliants at night. So I was kind of overdoing it with my skin. And eventually when I got to my esthetician, I found out that I was, dehydrating my skin. So if your skin is dehydrated, especially if you had active acne like me, then your acne doesn't have a chance to heal itself. So you're trying to, it's like, for example, it's like picking at a scab, right? So you keep picking at the scab. If you keep picking at the scab, it's never gonna heal. It's just gonna leave something there. So you just keep doing that over and over and over again, instead of just like leaving it alone. And leaving it alone is the equivalent of just like throwing on your moisturizer, throwing on your hydrating serum, throwing on your hydrating toner, and calling it a day. Now you're wondering, why were you oily and using all these hydrating products? Well, I was even more oily when I didn't use hydrating products. These hydrating products were able to keep my oil under control to where I didn't have to use as much powder, and I didn't have to use super matte foundation. I could actually have some type of glow to my skin without necessarily like having to blot every 2 seconds. I remember I used to have to blot all the time, and that finally went away. So to me, moisture and hydration is key no matter what kind of skin type you have. Now that I have dry skin because of Accutane, I've learned that moisture is even more important, but at the time, this is what I was using. And of course, my most important thing, especially because I did use so many active chemical exfoliants, I had to wear sunscreen every single day. Even if I was inside, even if I was only gonna stay in bed, which I honestly have skipped it a lot during this quarantine, but you know what? We just have to do it again the next day. So I use the Farmacy Green Defense SPF 30 Mineral Sunscreen. This one's pretty pricey. I actually got it because I had a gift card with Sephora and I loved it. I think it works really good under makeup. I haven't had any issues with it having flashback or adding any greasiness or anything under my foundation. I did find that happened as far as greasiness with the Supergoop when I tried it about 2 years ago. I'd be interested to try it again with my new skin type, but this actually worked well when I had oily and dry skin. So I recommend it for both. And yeah, this is my go-to. Quick tip is any SPF over 50 is really pointless to pay for because it's gonna cover you just as well as anything between like 40 and 50. So don't overpay. And that is my skincare routine. Like I said, I was hesitant to post this just because I didn't have the perfect skin, but I wanted to show what worked in managing my skin. I also didn't want to give anybody false hope, because as somebody who does have a lot of issues with their skin, as you can tell, I also have, like, I don't know if you can see it, I have like keloids all over my shoulders, my chest, everywhere. I have keratosis pilaris, the thing around my neck. Like, I have horrible skin conditions that I was just born with. And I don't want to say they're horrible on other people. I just, like, I hate that I have them, because, like, for example, right now, I feel these keloids on my face. It's not necessarily something that you can just, like, ignore. And, like, my neck, I can ignore. The keratosis pilaris, I can ignore. I can feel these things, like, itching at my skin. So it's a different experience there. If you have any questions about any of these products, go ahead and comment down below, or feel free to message me on Instagram. I'll go ahead and leave a list of their products down below if you want to look them up wherever they sell them. And that is pretty much it. I will update my updated skincare routine after all the changes that have happened in my life in the last couple months, but I'll probably keep that around my Accutane video. So again, if there's anything you want to see, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Bye.